The 79-year-old Queen Sylvia is our favorite royalty. The gorgeous German finally charmed the Swedish people when it became clear that she and 77-year-old King Carl Gustaf would marry. Since then, the beautiful royal has done everything for Sweden and the monarchy. The Queen's deep personal involvement on behalf of children and in the fight against Alzheimer's disease is impressive. Sylvia has truly changed the lives of many people. She is deeply loved and appreciated, bearing heavy sorrow. At the same time, the Queen carries a great deal of sadness. Her mother's last years were not fun. Alice Sommerlath was in serious condition, and Sylvia did everything she could to make her mother's life easier. Sylvia's father Walter Sommerlath died in 1990, and a year later the Queen's mother Alice became ill with Alzheimer's disease. Sylvia allowed Alice to move to Drottningholm Castle so that she could be near her mother and care for her, remember them with sadness and warmth. Alice Sommerlath fell asleep in 1997 and was reunited with her husband. 23 years later, in 2020, Sylvia's brother Walter Jr. moved into Drottningholm Palace. He was seriously ill, and his son Patrick Sommerlath, 52, cared for his father, who died in October of that year. For Queen Sylvia, grief for her parents and brother has not subsided. She remembers them with sadness and warmth and visits as often as possible the cemetery in Heidelberg, Germany, where they are buried. Queen Sylvia told us that sometimes she simply disappears anonymously to visit the graves where her loved ones are buried. I often visit my parents' and brother's graves incognito when I travel in Europe, Sylvia told German newspaper Bund, according to Svensk Damnedning. Empathy and the ability to love. A family-loving German wants to continue to honor his or her loved ones, and this should be respected and admired. It is the Queen's empathy and capacity to love that made her so deeply loved by the Swedes. It's a touching story. At the same time I think about how incredibly hard it must have been for the Queen. It's human that she is sad and distressed and the king is completely powerless, says retired court reporter Stapa Prasarna.